Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. And today I have a special guest with us. This is our Associate Vice President for Finance, Karla Mongeon-Stewart. And Karla's here today to share a few thoughts on what's happening in the budget world, because as you know, running a university is a big enterprise. And so to make everything happen on our campus, it requires money. And lots of it. Our budget is about $600 million annually. And so it comes from a number of places. And Karla, I thought a good way to start is to remind everybody, where does all this money come from?
Absolutely. And people often think that tuition and fees is where we get all of our money, but that's really a actually small percentage of our total budget. We also get money, obviously, from the state, grants and contracts. We get money from our auxiliary enterprises like athletics and housing and dining. And then we have some sales and service through some of our academic programs, so they contribute to our operating budget too. And then, of course, the wonderful support that we get from our donors. So gifts are another big part of our budget.
Nice. And so you mentioned the budget. We have a new budget coming out for the next fiscal year, for the upcoming academic year. Any insights into what we're seeing there with our budget, and how do we look?
Well, so far so good. Our new budget loaded July 1, and I feel we developed a pretty conservative budget, very similar to last year's budget. But so far, things are looking really good as far as our enrollments. So I'm expecting really good things for next year.
Wonderful. And then as we look even farther forward, we have the legislative process that's unfolding beginning in January. Any thoughts about financial issues or issues that we're facing as we go into the legislative cycle?
Yes. Inflation, I think, is on the top of everybody's mind, and that doesn't just impact the university as a school of higher education. It impacts our families every day when we go to the grocery store to buy our milk and everything else. And so the state board met on June 30th to go over what the budget priorities were going to be for the university system. And kind of the top three things that are on their list is how are we going to deal with inflation, both for our employees, but also as operating expenses continue to climb for the university. We do not want to put that burden on our students in the form of tuition increases, and so we're really working with the state board to see if the state can help us with that. And so the other big thing, as many of us know, is the mental health component of living through COVID for the last 2 years. So that was another big priority for the system, and they're going to go to legislature to look for funding for additional resources in that area.
Yeah, nice. And I do know that the legislative cycle will be starting again in January, and a lot of data and information about what emerges from the legislative process, and also details about our fiscal year 23 budget. How do we plan on sharing that information with the campus?
We will be developing a website where we will be able to post. So you and I will work together as things get posted through the legislature. We'll develop a website where people can go to get updates on any of the bills that are impacting higher education. Just to remember, UND is part of the university system, so all of our budgets run through the North Dakota University system. So we will be tracking all of the budgets or the bills that keep track of anything that would impact our campus, and we'll post that regularly. And then we will, give updates as things pass or anything that has a significant impact on us, and keep the campus informed about what's going on.
And that's the key, is we're going to keep you informed, because your understanding of what's happening across the state is very important, and because those decisions will certainly impact our campus. So, Karla, thank you for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Appreciate the great insights, and to all of you, enjoy the next 2 weeks, and we'll see you soon.